Today we will start with a new chapter called Accounting for Foreign Currency Transaction. The accounting standard applicable to this chapter is AS 11. Let us see the synopsis of this chapter. Meaning, which transactions are to be recorded, definitions, journal entries and practical problems. Let us start with accounting for foreign currency transaction means recording foreign currency transaction in books of accounts. So this whatever foreign currency transactions are there, they are to be recorded in books of accounts. So that is called accounting for currency transaction. Now let us see which transactions are to be recorded in books of accounts. First is import transaction, export transaction, purchase of fixed assets from foreign country, loan taken from foreign country. Now first we will see what is import transaction. Import transaction means one country purchases goods from another country. For example, there is one company called RAM Limited from India and another company called Qingchang Limited of China. So RAM Limited from India is purchasing electronic items from Qingchang Limited of China. Now this transaction is called import purchase. And this is a foreign currency transaction because here the currency involved is dollar. Next is export transaction. Export transaction means one country sells goods to another country. Say RAM Limited from India, Qingchang Limited of China. Now this time RAM Limited from India is selling cotton to Qingchang Limited of China. So this transaction is called export sale. Now this is also a foreign currency transaction because here the currency involved is dollar. Next is purchase of fixed assets from foreign country. Purchase of fixed assets from foreign country means one country is purchasing fixed assets from another country. For example, RAM Limited of India and there is a company called Jack Limited which is from USA. So what RAM Limited from India is doing, RAM Limited of India is purchasing machinery from Jack Limited of USA. Now this machinery is a fixed assets and this is a transaction in foreign currency because here the currency involved is dollar. Next is loan from foreign country. So loan from foreign country means one country takes loan from another country. Like there is RAM Limited from India. Now RAM Limited from India is taking loan from Bank of America of USA. So this is called loan in. Now let us look at some definitions. First is reporting currency. Now reporting currency means currency in which books of accounts are maintained. For example, in India books of accounts are maintained in rupees. So in India rupees is the reporting currency. In USA books of accounts are maintained in dollar. So for USA dollar is the reporting currency. In UK books of accounts are maintained in pound. So for UK pound is the reporting currency. Next is foreign currency. Foreign currency means any currency other than reporting currency. For example, in India dollar, pound, etc. means any other currency of any other country. So for India, dollar, pound, etc. is foreign currency. Why? Because in India, books of accounts are maintained in rupees. So for India, rupees is the reporting currency and any currency besides rupees, that is dollar, pound, etc. are foreign currency for India. Similarly, in USA, rupees, pound, etc. is foreign currency. Why? Because in USA, books of accounts are maintained in dollar. So for USA, dollar is the reporting currency and remaining currencies like say rupees, pound, etc. are foreign currency for USA. Similarly, in UK, dollar, rupees, etc. is foreign currency because in UK books of accounts are maintained in pound. So for UK, pound is the reporting currency and remaining, that is rupees, dollar, etc. is the foreign currency for UK. So foreign currency means any currency other than reporting currency. Means what? In India rupees is the reporting currency, so besides rupees, dollar, pound, etc. are foreign currency for India. in USA, dollar is the reporting currency. So besides dollar, rupees, pound, etc. are foreign currency for USA. In UK, pound is the reporting currency. So rupees, dollar, etc. are foreign currency for UK. Now, what is the meaning of exchange rate? Now, exchange rate is the ratio of exchange of two currencies. For example, in India, as on 1st April 2019, $1 is equal to rupees 70. Means what? In India, as on 1st April 2019, if you want $1, you have to give 70 rupees. So this is called the exchange rate. That means as on 1st April 2019, $1 is equal to rupees 70. Means if you want $1, you have to pay 70 rupees. This is called exchange rate. Next is spot rate. Spot rate is the ratio of exchange of two currencies on the date of transaction. For example, in India, as on 1st January 2020, $1 is equal to rupees 75. That means in India, if you want $1 on 1st January 2020, you have to pay 75 rupees. So the ratio of exchange is $1 is equal to rupees 75. Means for $1 you have to pay 75 rupees on 1st January 2020. Next is closing rate. So closing rate is the ratio of exchange of two countries on balance sheet date. For example, in India, as on 31st March 2019, $1 is equal to rupees 72. Means in India, balance sheet is prepared on 31st March 2019, and as on 31st March 2019, $1 is equal to rupees 72. So this rupees 72 is called as a closing rate. Why? Because it is the rate on the date of balance sheet. Next is monetary items. Now see, monetary items means money held, assets or liabilities to be settled in fixed amount of money. Like for example, foreign currency note included in cash or hand, or balance in bank account denominated in a foreign currency account, that is EEFC account. These are known as monetary items. Then similarly, trade receivables, trade payables, loan denominated in foreign currency, these are also monetary items, because this trade receivable, payable and loan, if we had deal with the foreign traders, we have to pay them or receive from them. So these are also known as monetary items. Now these monetary items in foreign currency are to be valued at closing rate. Means all this has to be brought into the balance sheet. So while bringing these items into the balance sheet, we have to value it at the closing rate, that is the rate on the date of balance sheet. Next is non-monetary items. So non-monetary items means assets and liabilities other than monetary items, means fixed assets, investment, etc. All these are called as non-monetary items, and these non-monetary items are to be valued at the historical cost. Foreign exchange fluctuation. Foreign exchange fluctuation means difference in exchange rate on two different dates. Like say for example, on 1st April 2020, $1 is equal to rupees 70, and on 1st June 2020, $1 is equal to rupees 72. Then rupees 2 is called as foreign exchange fluctuation, which can be either loss or gain. Now foreign exchange fluctuation is a nominal account. It is to be debited if there is a loss on exchange rate fluctuation, and it is to be credited if there is gain on exchange rate fluctuation. Now let us see how to pass journal entries in the books of importer. There are two parties, Ram Limited from India and Ching Chang Limited from China. Now Ram Limited from India is purchasing electronic items from Ching Chang Limited of China. Now this transaction is on 1st January 2020. There is an import purchase of $2,000, and the rate of $1 as on 1st January 2020 is rupees 70. Now let us see what will be the journal entry for this transaction. The journal entry is import purchase account debit. Now why import purchase is debited? Because for Ram Limited this purchase is expense. So debit all expense and losses. That's the reason import purchase account debit. How many dollars? $2,000. What is the rate of $1? 70 rupees. So 2000 into 70, that comes to 1,40,000. Now who is the giver of the benefit? The foreign creditor is the giver of the benefit. So we have to write here to foreign creditor. Let us see the next transaction. The next transaction is Ram Limited is making some payment to Ching Chang Limited. Now this is a payment of $1,000 and the payment is made on 1st February 2020 when the dollar rate is 75, and at the time of import purchase the dollar rate was 70. Now let us see how to pass the entry for this transaction. Now for making payment, so first of all, who is the receiver of the benefit? The foreign creditor is the receiver of the benefit. So foreign creditor account debit. How many dollars are paid? $1,000 are paid. So $1,000 multiply by, for foreign creditor we have to multiply it by the actual rate of import purchase. So the actual rate of import purchase is 70. So 1,000 into 70, that comes to 70,000. Okay. Now payment is made at the rate of 75. That means 5 rupees is paid extra. Payment is made at the rate of 75. That means 5 rupees is paid extra. So this 5 rupees is loss for the importer. So since it is a loss, we have to debit foreign exchange fluctuation account. So the entry will be foreign exchange fluctuation account debit $1,000 into rupees 5, and to bank. Who is the giver? The bank is the giver. How many dollars bank is giving? $1,000 bank is giving at what rate? 75. So the entry is $1,000 into 75. So what is the entry? Foreign creditor account debit $1,000, that is into 70,000. Foreign exchange fluctuation account debit 1,000 because there is a loss of 5 rupees, and to bank $1,000, that is 75. Okay, now let us see this transaction. Again, suppose Ram Limited is making the payment. This payment is made for $1,000. This payment is made on 1st of February 2020 when the dollar rate was 68, and at the time of import purchase the dollar rate was 70. Now let us see the entry for this. Again, who is the receiver of the benefit? Foreign creditor is the receiver of the benefit. So foreign creditor account debit. How many dollars? 1,000. And for creditor we have to multiply it by the actual import purchase rate, which is 70 rupees. So 1,000 into 70. Now see here, the payment is made at 68. That means the importer is getting a gain of 2 rupees. So since it is a gain, we have to credit foreign exchange fluctuation account. So to foreign exchange fluctuation account $1,000 into 2, and again to bank because bank is the giver of the benefit. So $1,000 into, at what rate the bank will pay? 68. So 1,000 into 68. So in this case there is a profit on foreign exchange fluctuation. So the entry is foreign creditor account debit $1,000 into 70, to foreign exchange fluctuation $1,000 into 2, to bank account $1,000 into 68. Now the next entry is for valuation on the date of balance sheet. Like say for example, as on balance sheet date the rate of $1 is 75, and at the time of import purchase the rate of $1 was rupees 70. Now what will be the entry for this transaction? Now see here, if you will see, the rate of dollar has increased by 5 rupees. Now since it has increased by 5 rupees means the foreign creditor is a liability. So liability is increased by 5 rupees. So if liability is increased, then it is a loss. So if it is a loss, then we have to debit the foreign exchange fluctuation account. So the entry will be foreign exchange fluctuation account debit, that is $1,000 into 5, and we have to credit the foreign creditor, that is $1,000 into 5. So this is the case of loss on valuation. Okay, can also be profit on valuation. Let us understand this. As on balance sheet date $1 is 68 rupees and import purchase is 70 rupees. So the entry for this, now see, as on balance sheet date the rate of dollar is 68. That means it is reduced by 2 rupees. Now if it is reduced by 2 rupees, that means my foreign creditor, which is a liability, so my liability is reduced. So if my liability is reduced, then it is profit for me. So since it is profit, we have to credit foreign exchange fluctuation account and we have to debit foreign creditor account. So the entry is foreign creditor account debit $1,000 into to foreign exchange fluctuation account. Now finally we have to close the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Now while closing foreign exchange fluctuation account, there are two possibilities. There can be a loss. So if it is a loss at the time of closing foreign exchange fluctuation account, we have to debit profit and loss account. So profit and loss account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation account. There can also be a gain while closing foreign exchange fluctuation account. So if there is a gain, then we have to credit profit and loss account. So the entry will be foreign exchange fluctuation account debit to profit and loss account. Now let us see some journal entries in the books of exporter. Let us take one example, Ram Limited from India and Qingchang Limited from China. Now this time Ram Limited from India is selling cotton to Qingchang Limited of China. Now this transaction is on 1st January 2020. There is an export sale of $2,000 and the rate of $1 is rupees 70 as on 1st January 2020. Now let us see what will be the entry for this transaction. The entry for this transaction is foreign debtor account debit to export sale. Now for Ram Limited, this export sale is income, so we have to credit export sale. And who is the giver of the benefit? Who is the receiver of the benefit? The foreign debtor is the receiver of the benefit. So foreign debtor account debit to export sale. This is the entry for export sale in the books of exporter. Now let us see some other transaction. Now this time Ram Limited is receiving payment. Now how much payment is received? $1,000 payment is received. When it is received? It is received on 1st of February 2020. What is the dollar rate at that time? 68 is the dollar rate. And at the time of export, the dollar rate was 70. So what will be the entry? Now here, since bank is the receiver of the benefit, so bank account debit, how many dollars? 1,000. At what rate it will receive? It will receive at the rate of 68. So 1,000 into 68. Now see, in this case, when the export was done, the rate was 70, but when the money is coming in, the rate is 60. That means there is a loss of 2 rupees because Ram Limited is receiving 2 rupees less. So since it is a loss, we have to debit foreign exchange fluctuation account. So 1,000 into 2,000. Then 2, who is the giver of the benefit? Foreign debtor is the giver of the benefit. So 1,000 into, for foreign debtor we have to take the actual rate of export sale, which is 70 rupees. So 1,000 into 70, that comes to 70,000. Let us see the next transaction. Now in this case, again, suppose Ram Limited is receiving some payment. It is receiving $1,000. It is received on 1st of February 2020. Dollar rate is 75. And at the time of export sale, the rate of dollar was 70. Now what will be the entry for this? Again, bank is the receiver of the benefit. So bank account debit, how many dollar? 1,000. At what rate it is received? It is received at the rate of 75. So 1,000 into 75, 75,000. Okay, now here at the time of export, the rate was 70 rupees, and while receiving the payment, the rate is 75. That means Ram Limited is receiving 5 rupees extra. So it is profit for Ram Limited. So we have to credit foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, and 2, who is the giver of the benefit? Foreign debtor is the giver of the benefit. So to foreign debtor account, 1,000 into. Now we will see when there is loss on valuation as on balance sheet date. The same two parties are Ram Limited and Qingchang Limited. Now as on balance sheet date, that is as on 31st March 2020, $1 is equal to rupees 68, and at the time of export the rate of dollar was 70. That means there is a reduction of rupees 2. There is a reduction of rupees 2. That means my debtor is reduced by 2 rupees. So debtor means asset. My asset is reduced by 2 rupees. So if asset is reduced, then it is loss. So we have to debit foreign exchange fluctuation account. So what will be the entry? Foreign exchange fluctuation account debit $1000 into 2, that comes to 2000, and 2 foreign debtor account. So this is the entry for loss on valuation of balance sheet. Next, there can also be a profit or that is called gain at the time of valuation. So again, at the time of balance sheet, suppose the $1 is 75, and at the time of export sale the dollar rate was 70. That means my dollar rate is increased by 5 rupees. Now since it is increased by 5 rupees, that means my foreign debtor value is increased by 5 rupees. If my foreign debtor is increased by 5 rupees, that means it is a gain for me. So that is the reason gain means we have to credit foreign exchange fluctuation and debit foreign debtor. So the entry will be foreign debtor account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation. Next is we have to close the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Now while closing the foreign exchange fluctuation account, there are two possibilities. One thing, there can be a loss on that. So whatever is the loss will be debited to profit and loss account. So profit and loss account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation. And there can be a chance of gain also. So if it is a gain, then we have to credit profit and loss account. So the entry is foreign exchange fluctuation account debit to profit and loss account. Thank you.